Hey guys, this is BlendMaster here with another tutorial, and in my last tutorial I showed you how to create the square effect inside of Blender, and this is what I created, but I forgot to show you how to add some color variation and saturation variation like this. So I'm going to show you how to do that today in this video. And what we're going to have to do is switch over from Blender Render to Cycles Render Engine. And we'll tab into edit mode, make sure everything's selected, and press P to bring up a selection menu, and then by loose parts. And what this does is it separates all of these into individual objects. And I'm just going to press B and box select all of these, and press origin to geometry. And right now these all have the same material, but since we switched over to cycles, it's just a plain white diffuse material. So I'm going to open up a node editor down here, and I'll zoom in and I'll press X to delete the diffuse, input emission shader, then Shift A, input texture coordinate, find image texture, and then just plug it in. And now if you go into rendered view, you can see that our material is back. And to create the difference in the saturation, we're going to add a color ramp. So press Shift A, converter, color ramp, and Shift A, color, mix RGB, and then change it to add with the value of 1. And right now you can see that it's adding just a gray material, or it's overlaying a gray color over all of these, but we don't want that. We want it to pick random values here, and so each one will have a different saturation sort of look. So to do that, we'll press Shift A, input, object info, and plug in random. And now you can see that it's picking random values and adding them to our image. And right now it's really bright because we have this white color, and I don't want it to be that bright, so we're going to bring this down to a dark gray, maybe right there. And then I'll bring up this black a little bit too. And that's looking pretty nice. Our image has some saturated parts. And this is just one of the ways to add color. It's pretty simple. We'll add Shift A, color, hue saturation, plug in our original image for the color, and then random into the hue. And now you can just render out this image and save it. And that's pretty much it for adding saturation and color to this square effect. And that's a pretty quick and simple way, but if you wanted to get more control over this, I'll show you how to do that right now. So to get more control, we would have to create a separate material for one of these, and I'm just going to label it with the color I want, so dot green, and we'll bring up the node editor again, and instead of putting in random there, I'm going to select everything and link it to that material just so it's easy to find. And so it doesn't matter. We'll just play with this hue until it gets a greenish tint. Okay, so like right about there, 0.3 maybe. Okay, so now we have a green color, and we can select another one and give it a red color, and then we'll just play with this value until we get another good looking red, so maybe like 0.9, and then we'll add a yellow, and you can see that all I'm doing is just giving it a different material and playing with this hue value to give it different color variation. And then we'll have the original material, which is that, but we have to unplug the random from it. So now you can have control over what materials you want to be what color, and all you have to do is select the squares you want a specific color. So I'm just selecting the ones. Actually, I'm gonna go to wireframe, select everything, and then make sure that the original material, the square with the original materials are selected. Press Ctrl L and materials, which links them all, because I want majority of these squares to be blue, only a handful to be different. And then you can just select them and change it to whatever color you want here and there. And this gives you a lot more control over what parts are a different color and what aren't. So you can just keep on selecting, or if you wanted, after creating one of them, you can select multiple like this, and then select the colored one last and Control L materials, and that speeds up the process a lot. And I'm just gonna do that with the red, and then I'll do it with the yellow one more time. Like that. And then we can just render out this image and close it. And then you can save it. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something new. And if you have any suggestions for future tutorials, feel free to leave them in the comments as well. Thanks for watching.